Yo, what's up, everybody? All right, so let's talk about this, and we're gonna get right to the point while we wait for these notifications and everybody to be notified. Hopefully, everybody's having a good weekend and everything's going good for everybody. This is important, exciting, and it's going to be wow, what a time, honestly. What a time because we are seeing history in the making and we're seeing a lot of things that are shifting and a lot of things that are changing, things that are just all over the place right now. Honestly, this is going to be interesting. I'm telling y'all right now. Real talk. Jack, what's up? Reynaldo, what's up? Appreciate y'all for tuning in, waiting for these notifications and stuff like that. So like I said, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. A lot of things are starting to shift. A lot of things are starting to be a little uncertain. Things are starting to pressure upon the studio, if you want to say. Bad Beast, what's up? Appreciate you for watching. Also, everybody that's tuning in and all that stuff. I know the notifications are going out right now, and you all know how I do random live streams. So I was like, you know what? Let's do this because we gotta talk. And I'm like, what? Got some time? Might as well just do it. You already know what's up. So let's see. Weekend's been going good. What about you? Everything's been going chilling. I can't complain. Honestly, really can't. You know, can't complain about everything and stuff like that. Let's see. Man, Reynaldo, I respect your opinion, but I'll be honest with you. I am not Today I'm not acknowledging James Gunn comments. I'm sorry. I'm just not. I'm not feeding into negativity. I'm only gonna be focused on the Snyderverse and everything that has to do with David Ayer and Zack Snyder. That's it. I will be hammering down on James Gunn. So if you guys don't like that, I'm telling you right now, just don't even listen. I'm gonna call it how it is today. Look, nothing against and nobody's opinions and stuff like that, but I just want to focus on this today. Honestly, just because what I came across, that's why I was like I want to share with y'all and stuff like that. And of course, for us that do support Zack Snyder and David Ayer, we've been talking about this for a while and stuff like that. I will keep on talking about it. Nobody's gonna shut me up. Nobody's gonna turn me down. Nobody's gonna close the door on me. I'm kicking doors down. I'm making noise, and you're gonna hear me out here loud and clear because I am not playing. Honestly, look, let's look at some things. Honestly, first things first. Um, that picture with Zach, right, with the sheeps. I explained it in the recent video that I just posted, and being honest with y'all, I think that Zack Snyder is hinting something at us. And remember, he's in the industry, he's been there for a while, and the same way that he might know something, David Ayer and also James Gunn know something. Because I want to crack and talk about some things, honestly. Let's just look at it from different aspects and different point of views, and I'll tell you why. First things first, why would Zach all of a sudden post a picture of those three sheeps? And like I posted, that dude that's on Twitter, X, that he was talking about, like the whole image and stuff. He broke it down. He did a deep dive. I literally see that same point of view too, and I'm like, damn, I never thought about that. I was like, damn, like when I saw a picture, I was like, probably like most of you, I was like, damn, what the hell? What do sheeps have to do? I literally didn't see it. You get what I'm saying? So I was like, kind of like, damn, I don't know where he's coming from. The way they broke it down, I was like, yo, that was pretty dope. Tabish Kalim, what's up? Appreciate you for watching, bro. Yeah, I remember you from India. Appreciate that. Much love out there to India and everywhere. I really love everybody out there. Even if we don't agree, it's all good. I don't take it personal. Ace, what's up? Not much. Just here chilling and chatting with y'all. Y'all already know the business. We're gonna talk about Snyder stuff today and the DCEU, the possibilities, and some numbers. We're gonna talk about a lot of good stuff right now. All right, so just hear me out and stuff like that. If I don't look at the comments, it's just because I'm so focused on what I'm talking about and stuff like that. Like I'm straight up like excited about this. I'm not even sitting down, y'all. I'm straight up just walking back and forth, pacing. But check this out. That picture that Zach posted with three sheep. All right, if we look at it, and again, giving credit again to the page from Instagram, can't remember right now, but the Batman page that he usually posts and stuff. We follow each other on X. It's it's pretty awesome the way that he broke it down. And Sean, what's up? Dan, what's up? Appreciate y'all also for watching. Check this out. Three sheeps representing. All right, let's remember Zach speaks in code, and he always talks about things in a symbolic message, right? Not literal. It could be literal, but most of the time it's always something symbolical. Three sheeps representing Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. All right, the Trinity. Also, it could be Batman versus Superman, Man of Steel, and of course Wonder Woman. Because remember, Zack was also involved with Patty Jenkins with the first Wonder Woman, and it could also mean, of course, the Snyder Cut. What can come from this? What is he trying to say? I'm speculating by what that post goes. If those three sheeps represent that, why are they on a farm? I never thought of that. It's giving me chills telling y'all this right now. I'm so like, yo, I'm so activated. Yes, let's go. Let's go, baby. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm here for. Check it out. Farms. What do farms do? They grow crops. They grow things. So what does that mean? Probably Zack already knows behind closed doors that it's going to happen. It could be coming from Netflix, baby. It could be. Let's not forget, Netflix is ready to make that bid. All right. But let's not forget, Zack Snyder's also working with Paramount Skydance, baby. Let's not forget that. Woo! Straight up, yo. Regardless, I'm telling y'all right now. I'm gonna tell you right now, and let's put it together. All right. A farm grows crops. You grow things, right? You plant seeds and you get your crops. Every season brings something new. Now, let's speculate. Let's look a little bit more into depth. What if Zack is trying to tell us, hey, that is what those three sheeps mean? Or it could also, this is just me speculating. This is me speculating on the next post, baby. Hear me out. What if those three sheeps represent, all right, Zack Snyder, David Ayer, and Christopher Nolan with Comcast? Woo! You see what I did there? That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, baby. Anything can come from this. I'm going to tell you right now. WB, checkmate. It's on check right now. It's on check. Every way that they look at it, yo, James Gunn is in check. If this buyout does happen, which I know it's going to happen regardless, we already know, all right? WB is cornered three ways. Comcast, which is Universal, Netflix, and then in the other side, you have Paramount Skydance. Three giant corporations, companies, whatever you want to call them. They got the money. They don't have the debt. And they got the hunger. They have the passion. Let's look at it. Let's look at it, my friends. Think about it. Let's not forget that Christopher Nolan is the one that appointed to WB and said, let Zack do his thing. This is going to be something good. And WB and the executives are the ones that screwed everything. Not Zack. It was the executives. Till this day, you have to hold them all accountable, right? That's that. What else did those executives do? They screwed around with David Ayer. And of course, we got the studio squad that we got. We didn't get the real vision yet, the version that we're still fighting for, the Ayer cut. What if, this is me speculating, what if from all of this, regardless whoever buys them, whether it's Netflix, Comcast, Skydance, whoever wants to buy it, right? Regardless, right? That's where that whole hashtag of sell comes into place, because it's going to go up for sale, right? Now let's look at the bigger picture. What's the bigger picture? The much large panoramic picture. Whoever ends up acquiring Warner Brothers and is the parent company, guess what are they going to do? It doesn't matter which one. They're going to restore the Snyderverse because they know that there's money there. And I'll tell you why there's money. We're going to get into that right now. I'm telling y'all, there's so much that I want to talk about, and we're going to be breaking this down. This is why I rather do a live instead of a video. Check this out, right? With the way that things are going right now with James Gunn, he knows, all right? He knows to a certain point things inside, all right? I just finished watching a video. Literally, I just watched it like 10 minutes before I got on to do the live. And James Gunn himself is in an interview with the channel. I'll tell you right now. Hold on, let me see, because I got my notes right here. All right. YMH Clips. They did an interview with James Gunn. And in the interview, when you pause at 1 minute and 32 seconds, they're talking about Batman, and the whole title is called DC Fans Lose Their Mind Over Batman's Underwear. Literally, this is what the whole topic is about, right? When you listen to that interview, the guy asks James Gunn straight up. He tells him, oh, it must be very, difficult to be doing this, especially when you do with Superman, blah blah. And James Gunn's like, yeah, you know how it has to be connected or whatever. And then James Gunn responds to the person that's interviewing him, because the person that interviewed him asked him straight up. They were like, hey, it must be difficult. It must be very difficult. It must take like a decade, to do all of this stuff. And then James Gunn tells him straight up, this is where I'm trying to tell y'all. Listen to what I'm going to tell you. And this right here could be something that James Gunn might know. And he's nervous because James Gunn responded and he goes, yeah, maybe. Yeah, a little less. Hold on. Because the guy asked James Gunn, yo, this could take like about a decade or so, right? For you to like establish whatever it is that you're doing. James Gunn straight up says, yeah, about a decade. But then he goes, maybe a little less. Ooh, what does that tell you? Does he know something? That he has a time frame that he has to deliver and say, hey, look, in order for you to move forward with whatever you're trying to do, you're not going to get those 10 years. You need to deliver now because you didn't deliver with Superman. He didn't. He did not deliver with Superman. Let's be real. Domestically, okay, it made some money. Worldwide, it didn't make money. And David Zaslav is about money. And we know that once he appointed him, he was like, hey, you need to deliver, all right? Because in the end, it's all about money. Now, let's look at this other point of view also. With the way that things are going right now, we already know that everything with James Gunn and his DCU, with Superman, merchandise is not moving, it's not selling, it's not popular, it goes on clearance. Even before the movie came out, remember, I told y'all, I was sharing pictures with y'all, and I know TY, he would send me pictures, and I would share them, and he was posting. We were all sharing and posting different pictures, right? Everybody out there. Shout out to you, TY. Now, when you have a movie that's coming out, and you already have items going on clearance before the movie releases, what is that telling you? That it's not, they don't have faith in it. They don't have faith, all right? They don't believe in their own product. What happens when Superman comes out and the tickets go up for sale? They didn't move. Let's be real, they didn't move. Okay, in a few spots here and there, probably because the population is 20. Oh, they sold out. Oh, wow. But in the big theaters that were in Europe, in California, and New York, they weren't selling. Those theaters were empty. They were slowly, very slowly filling up. And when you had all these fans coming out from James Gunn when they announced this reboot, oh, it's going to make $1 billion day one. And what happened? They started lowering their standards and their expectations to it. And every time it was getting more and more silly, right? Until we started comparing it like the Flush. Oh, they're only expecting probably like between 95 to like 125 million. And we spoke about this. Remember, I told y'all they're going to try to normalize a flop and they're going to try to justify it and say, hey, they're eating good. So when it surpasses that quote unquote number, oh, look, it's a success. And then the fake shill media, they're all coming out because they're all getting paid to say that. That's how this works. That's how Hollywood is. So everybody can go out there, oh, I want to go see it. That's why a lot of people went out to see it. Not enough, but the people that did went out. Now, the curiosity is what got to them. Now that the smoke has cleared, it's already proven. Nobody cares about James Gunn's vision with Superman. And you've seen a lot of videos from a lot of YouTubers and, people that review and they're so disappointed. And now for this whole Batman, right? Why is James Gunn trying to greenlight? And without stories being written, all of a sudden overnight, the stories are being written, right? That's all priority, right? Clayface came out of nowhere, right? They canceled The Authority. And then all of a sudden, Matt Reeves has been like almost like what, 4 years in the making for a script to be turned in, to be done. The point is that James Gunn is in panic mode. Let's be real. He's in panic mode. He knows that his days are numbered at DC. And he's not delivering. These executives, these investors are tired of losing money. What do you do in that situation? You're running out of options. Well, let me go ahead and before I go, let me leave my mark. Because he's trying to leave his legacy. So when the day he's out and he's finally fired, meaning without a job at WB with DC, that's what his legacy is going to be. Everything that he's trying to do, the Superman saga. I'm telling y'all right now, we're not going to see James Gunn's Batman. We are not. Even if another studio does acquire everything at WB, they're not going to move forward with it. I can guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. You know why? Why are you going to keep on spending money on something that is not bringing you money? Especially as a studio, you have to make money. You can't be losing money. And James Gunn, since day one, once he made the Suicide Squad, without the exception, without the excuse of the pandemic, because all you James Gunn cultists love to use that excuse. Oh, it was because of the pandemic. Joke's on you, because during the pandemic, everybody was wearing masks and the theaters were packed to see Spider-Man No Way Home. Therefore, it proves to you that even with the pandemic, people were still going out. There was no superhero fatigue. It's just that people didn't care. The Suicide Squad flopped, and that's it. It's a done deal. Merchandise was on clearance. It wouldn't sell, not even in the $5 bucket bin. As a corporation, as a company, that's embarrassing. Warner Brothers has been losing so much money. And from all of that, not only from there, but before that, right? Before James Gunn came on board, what happened? The studio has been getting in the way, trying to be like Marvel, copying Marvel. So desperate. And it's literally costed them so much money. That's why they are where they are right now financially. They're in this hole, they're in this debt. Barbie couldn't save them, Doom couldn't save them, Minecraft couldn't save them, Superflop couldn't save them. Nothing is working. But then all of a sudden, this is what I want to talk about now with the numbers. Why I see that the Snyderverse is going to make a comeback, and it's going to make it fast. You'll see why. Why all of a sudden does the studio, oh damn, we're losing money. Okay, let's put out this product. Oh no, you know what? Let's capitalize on the Snyder fans because we know that they have money and they're going to pay. And I'll tell you how. When the Snyder Cut came out, right? Think about it. This is in 2021. What happened to the servers of HBO Max? They crashed. When have you heard on Netflix? And Netflix has been around for years, right? They're a pioneer at streaming. How come we've never heard that with Disney Plus? How come we've never heard that with Paramount Plus? Because they don't have that much fans like that. And then what happened? The servers crashed. Because everybody was curious. You had fans, you had shills, you had the haters. Everybody was trying to watch the Snyder Cut. You had all these shills out there that were like, oh, the Snyder Cut's never going to happen. And low key, they were all curious. Oh, I want to see the Snyder Cut. And that's why the servers crashed. Regardless, everybody wanted to see it. Everybody. And we finally saw it. We finally have it. Digital and physical. Till this day, we don't even know the exact numbers because it's not convenient for the studio. The studio knows that they screwed up. For years, they know they've been screwing up. What happens? Fans are demanding and wanting more because Zack Snyder was already setting up something with the Nightmare Timeline, the epilogue. He shot that last minute. We got something that's preparing us for Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3. And what happens? All of a sudden, the studio's like, no, we're going to stop it. We're just going to reboot. Reboot? What? You're going to reboot? And look at where they are right now. Look at what James Gunn has been doing. Oh, this is canon. This is not canon. We're going to retcon this. We're going to pick a little bit of this. We're going to pick a little bit of that. This is not going to move forward. That's going to move forward. But this character is going to be this one now. This one's going to be the... Make it make sense. There's no excuses to tell me as the person that's watching a movie to understand how bad this universe is with this reboot. With Zack Snyder, there was a plan. With David Ayer, there was a plan. With Patty Jenkins, there was a plan. It's the moment that WB got into, into the creative decisions and said, no, we want to do this. And they started screwing everything around. And we saw the after effects. Don't tell me that The Flash wasn't, what's the term I want to use? That it wasn't influenced by James Gunn. Of course it was. Ben Affleck was supposed to be in The Flash. And what did James Gunn say once the movie released? Oh, that he didn't want nothing to lead up and give us false hope that wouldn't happen. Remember that. Ben Affleck's Batman was also supposed to appear in Aquaman. And he did. Because when it came out in China, people were talking about it online. But they were quick to remove those posts. See what I'm saying? So they've been trying to hide it and get away from it because they know that they'll never achieve and be able to reach that level of quality again. Now, let's get into the numbers. Everything that's been coming out has been performing bad financially. Stock market has been doing bad for years. This is not 1 or 2 years. This is over 3 years. Ever since Zack Snyder stepped away from WB. Everything has been going downhill. And like I said, even Dune that made $1 billion, Barbie made $1 billion. That's $2 billion already. Where's that money at? It's gone. You know why? Because James Gunn, while they're trying to recover, is on the other side making a hole, making another hole, and it's gushing. It's just losing money to the company. 300 million on the Flash, plus another 50 million. Now let's add marketing to that. A couple of millions, what? Another 150 million? You're looking at almost like what, 400 million? 450? Okay, let's do the same thing with the next movie. Let's do the same thing with the next movie. Oh, but let's go ahead. Oh, Superman. Even when before Superman came out, James Gunn was like, "Oh, it's not about money. It doesn't matter if it doesn't make money." What do you mean it doesn't matter if it doesn't make money? Then you're in this business for the wrong reason, my friend. Honestly, if you're in this business, especially Hollywood, you're in show business. You're about to make money, not about losing money. If you want to lose money, go and do charity and make free movies. That's where you belong. And what has happened with the company? It's been going down. People don't want to work with James Gunn. And then when he hires somebody, it's generic, it's basic, nobody cares. It's not working, period. Literally, it's not working. So what's happening? There's no foundation. James Gunn's pressure, and he even said it, the future of the DCU all relies on the weight of Superman that's on his shoulder. And look at how bad that movie did. Domestically, made some, a little bit of money. Realistically, worldwide, it was a joke. It was a joke. I would be embarrassed. I would be embarrassed. If I ran WB, I would be embarrassed. I'll be like, let's pull the plug now while we still can. And then what happens? They pull the plug on Batgirl. Again, because James Gunn didn't want things to be set up because he knew that with Zack Snyder and David Ayer, there were plans. If it wasn't, then why does the Flash appear in Suicide Squad? Why do you have these connections of Ben Affleck's Batman within Suicide Squad of David Ayer? Remember when he faces off Deathstroke? See what I'm saying? So it's telling you, I mean, not Deathstroke, Deadshot. It's telling you that there was stuff that were going to happen, but the studio just wanted to still be like Marvel. Until this day, they still have no clue what they're doing. Look at how bad Peacemaker's doing. Look at the dimension that they're in. Dimension X. What the hell? Like, honestly, that's what they're focusing on. Instead of helping the brands just getting worse, we don't need reality be thrown into the entertainment that we're watching. Again, you're low-key sending messages. I see your agendas loud and clear. I'm not watching it. I'm not. And if you don't see that, honestly, I don't know what to say. Now, when we look at it, the numbers, why all of a sudden, now that we're in this reboot, why does Warner Brothers put out with McFarlane Toys a whole wave of Batman versus Superman? A movie that's been out over like 10 years? So for a dead franchise, right? So all you James Gunn cultists, oh, it's a dead franchise. The Snyderverse, this and that, right? Oh, but how come y'all need our money? How come you need our money to fund your shitty projects and all these shitty films? Oh, that's right, because you know the Snyderverse sells, right? And you know that it makes money. You low-key don't want to admit it, but you want to milk us. And you do it all the time. I have all these figures from the McFarlane line from Batman vs. Superman. And a lot of people did too. But you don't see those going on clearance. And if you do see it on clearance, it's because probably, certain companies are having a sale and it just happens to fall. But you won't see these products. I've never seen Ben Affleck's Batman. I've never seen Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, on clearance. You know why? Because they sell like hot bread, hot fresh bread, just like that. And to this day, you don't even find those figures because everybody wants them. You know how hard it is to come across them? Extremely hard. And even if you find them in the aftermarket, they're even more expensive because they know that they sell. But Superman's from James Gunn on clearance everywhere, and they're still not selling. It's still not selling. See what I'm saying? That's the difference. Now, when you look at it, how come? Why else? Right? While we're talking about merchandise, how come we see that McFarlane does a crowdfunding campaign recently for the Batman versus Superman Batmobile? And if you buy different tiers, you get different accessories and all that stuff, right? How come How come they needed to raise 400,000 in a month, right? That's to prove two things. One, if it doesn't get funded, then we could tell the Snyder fans, you see, it didn't work. We knew your universe was dead. We knew it wasn't going to sell. But joke's on them because it got funded in less than a week. And it surpassed the number at the end of the month. After the 30 days, it ended with like over 600 and something thousand. I was like, wow, like it completely succeeded the campaign. Like it surpassed it, right? Meanwhile, Superman of a reboot is struggling at the box office. And not only that, Superman comes out on what is it, a video on demand and all that stuff. And less than a week, it's already on sale. It's already on clearance. Meanwhile, you have Jurassic World Rebirth in the theater still making money. You have F1 still making money. And they're also being streamed. And they're not dropping the prices. And they were still making money. See the difference? You starting to catch on what I'm saying? Numbers don't lie, my friends. And with James Gunn, nothing is working. It's not. This is why you see that they're in this situation. Now, let's look at something more recently. If the Suicide Squad was so successful and James Gunn was so successful at the studio, riddle me this. Why? Why do we have the newest campaign that just launched literally on Friday, because today is Sunday, it just launched 2 days ago, with David Ayer's Suicide Squad with Joker and Harley Quinn from the DCEU? How come it's not James Gunn's version? How come? And you want to know a fun fact? Let me get my note right here because I already got it and I'm prepared for y'all. Just so you can know. Hold on. All right, here goes. Look. They need, just to make that, those two figures to go into production, in a month, they need 250. Think about that. $250,000. Right? That's a lot of money. And in 2 days, guess how much they've raised? $146,743 with 11 cents. In 2 days. In 2 days. Tell me, what is that? That's called making money. That's called that sells. That's called it's in demand. For a brand, right, that it's dead, they're making money. In 2 days. Less time than what we did with the Batmobile. It's already past its expectations. In 2 days, it's at 58.7% funded. And this is a 30-day campaign. And it's already almost funded in 2 days. Meanwhile, James Gunn and his DCU is struggling on every aspect. Now, let's look at it from a business corporation type if you want. You're going to tell me that David Zaslav is there like, yeah, we're making money. Oh, yeah, Superman succeeded, blah, blah. It must be an embarrassment every time he goes to the golf course. And I always use the golf course because, most of the time, a lot of these corporate rich executives and business owners, they like to go on the the little cart, and then they like to go and hang out, and play golf. And they're probably just joking around. Oh, yeah, I made this much money, blah, blah, blah. All they talk about is money. Imagine David Zaslav. Oh, here comes David Zaslav, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, how's that Superman movie? Oh, yeah, it's performing well. That's not what we read in the articles. That's not what we're seeing online. That's not what we're seeing with the fans, blah, blah, blah. That's not what my kids are telling me, my grandkids, and blah, blah, blah. You see what I'm saying? It must be an embarrassment. David Zaslav is in a point, like I told y'all for months, and I've been saying and I've been telling y'all, if they don't restore the Snyderverse, they're going to be pushed to where we are right now, to the corner, and they're going to be forced to sell. And that sell and that wholesale is on the way. Because now we're hearing and we're seeing Netflix is preparing that bid, Comcast is preparing that bid, and we also have Apple that wants to jump in. We have Amazon that wants a piece of the pie. Why would they be jumping in? Paramount, Skydance. Why? Because they know that there's money there. That's why. They know that there's a big demand. They know that fans are willing to pay. What do you think they're gonna sit there and be like, oh yeah, whatever, we're gonna be like WB and just let it rot? No. They're like, we can flip that and make so much money off of it. I don't mind spending, but I know it's going to bring back much more than what we're spending. Those bids are about to start. I'm telling y'all, my friends, it's about to get serious. And just like that, after listening to that interview, you have James Gunn that he said, oh, probably less than 10 years. I think he knows that his time is almost up and he's not delivering. So probably there's a little bird out there that's saying things. Hey, things are really going to shift. And I've been telling y'all also, things are shifting. Things will continue to shift and shake left and right as we continue to move into 2026. And don't sleep on what I've been telling you for a while. Many of you are still sleeping. Why would Comcast come into play in January? Literally, like in about 4 months, almost like 3 months, with HBO Max. They're doing something to help them with their streaming service. And yes, now I'm aware that Comcast owns Peacock. I did it before because it's Peacock. Who takes Peacock serious? Nobody. Now look at it from a business corporation side. Hey, we're Comcast. You imagine if we acquire HBO Max, we throw, or we could just erase Peacock, and it's gonna be now with Comcast, HBO Max. You imagine that, like how they did with AT&T. Ooh, big things are on the horizon, my friends. Big things are on the horizon. But then you have these James Gunn cultists that don't want to admit the facts. They don't want to listen to the statistics and the numbers. They don't want that. They're like vampires. They're like, I don't want that because it hurts me. It just, I can't see the light. And the truth is, the fact is that everything with James Gunn and his DCU has not been working. Look at the agendas that they're pushing. I don't have to show you. You're seeing it on your own. They wanted to be like Marvel. They're exactly Marvel now. You wanted that whole MCU style formula. You have it. And is it still working for you? No. It didn't work when Zack Snyder was there. It didn't work when David Ayer was there. And it's not working now that James Gunn is there from Marvel. Because James Gunn brings that Marvel mentality. James Gunn also brings that immature mentality. He brings in all this toxic, content that he's been bringing. And is it working? No. WB stocks are still down. How come they're not up again? How come? Oh, that's right, because nobody's talking about them. They were up recently because everybody's talking about this bid. Everybody's getting ready, keeping an eye. Everybody's right now watching to see who's going to strike first and who's going to make the first offer. And whoever it is, once the first bid is out there, oh, you better buckle up, my friends, because we're in for a ride. We are going to hear and be on this ride like a roller coaster. We're gonna be going up and down, sideways, everything. We're gonna be like, oh shit, that it's gonna be like that, honestly. It's gonna be like you're in an event. Oh, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Because those bids, and they know it. They know it. These companies, Comcast, Paramount, Skydance, Netflix, Apple, Amazon, they all know that people are now watching and listening. Because now you have all these shills that were shilling for Superman. Now they're starting to talk about it. And they're like, oh, there's a buyout that's about to happen. Oh, now you want to listen. Now you want to accept. Now you're paying attention. And I've seen some channels that they won't admit it, but they're low-key nervous. Because they know that once this acquisition happens and whoever buys out Warner Brothers, this whole DCU is going to be erased. The same way that they erased and tried to erase the Snyderverse and get away from it, and it's not working, guess what? The same thing is going to happen to James Gunn's DCU. There's not going to be a Batman Brave and the Bold. We're not going to make it that far. They can't. Financially, Warner Brothers with DC cannot make it maybe not even another 5 years, honestly. They just can't. They can't. Financially, they are so screwed. They cannot. It's time for the studio to sell. And whoever buys it, whether it's Netflix, whether it's Comcast, whether it's Paramount, Skydance, whoever the hell it is, let it be. Because all three of those, right? And I focus mainly on those three because they're the main ones that, we know that they have money. Yes, Apple has money, but Apple is like AT&T. They're a phone company. They don't care. They don't know nothing about movies. Even their streaming service sucks. What can you tell me as on their streaming service that's doing, oh wow, it's bad? That tells you that. Amazon, okay. I mean, they're more into whatever the hell they're doing and stuff like that. But Netflix, they're the pioneer. Comcast, they know what they're doing. They got money. And they own a bunch of things. Don't forget, they also own Universal. Who's at Universal? Christopher Nolan. A lot of things are starting to line up, my friends. A lot of things are going to change and shift as we continue to move forward with this reboot. A lot of people don't want to admit it. But there is going to be a buyout. Whoever buys them out, you better believe that they're just like that meme with the guy looking behind the tree. He's dressed in yellow and he's like licking his lips, ready to like savoring it. That's exactly what's happening with these corporations. And I wish, man, I really wish that somebody from Comcast or Paramount or Skydance or Netflix would be watching and listening to this. It would be amazing. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, whoever, right? Like in Hunger Games, may the odds be on your favor. The same thing. May the odds be on your favor. Whoever is going to acquire WB, you need to restore the Snyderverse. There's money there. You want your money to come faster than where you're spending it? You need to restore the Snyderverse. You don't believe me? How come those McFarlane toys got funded in less than a week? Boom, that's a win. How come this David Ayers Suicide Squad with two figures, right? With two figures, Harley and Joker, from a universe that's supposed to be quote unquote dead, right? From almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago. How come they're focusing on that? Because remember, it's not McFarlane who says, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and put out this line. No, even McFarlane has said it. He still responds to the people above him, even though he's McFarlane. Guess who he responds to? Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers are the ones that tell McFarlane, hey, we want to put out this line. We want to go ahead and put out this. Because, of course, they're the ones that are paying for it. They have every right. And if they have every right just like that, we too, the fans, customers, and consumers, have every right to ask from the studios, give us the Snyderverse back. Because that's what we want. You decided to turn your back on us, and you've been paying the price literally all around the world. Fans all over the world are united. And we've been telling you for years. This hasn't been overnight. This has been for years. You need to restore the Snyderverse. And that's what's coming. And these James Gunn fans, they know it. That's why they're quiet. They're not saying nothing. They're like a little mouse. Beep. They're not saying nothing. You know why? Because they know it's going to happen. They couldn't stop us with the release the Snyder Cut movement. They couldn't. They tried and they didn't succeed. And we have now the Snyder Cut. We didn't stop back then. Why are we going to stop now? On the contrary, now it's even more to be fueled and be motivated to keep on fighting and defending the Snyderverse. This is why I'm the only channel, pretty much, that talks on a daily basis, every other day for years, getting mocked at, laughed at, taunt at, memed at, everything, that still talks about the Snyderverse and still stays true to restore the Snyderverse. This is why you never see me turn my back, but I don't get credit for it. But it's all good. You know why? Because we're still doing this and they know it. And when I say they, I'm talking about everybody that's against us. Talking about the fake shill media, those fake shill YouTubers, hell, even people inside of the studios. Oh, it's never going to happen. Your universe isn't, it's gone. It's this and that. Oh, really? Really? This is where that whole movement of wallets closed come into place. We've been keeping our wallets closed the moment Zack Snyder walked away from WB. The moment that WB decided to move forward with Joss Whedon and put out Justice League was the moment that we kept our wallets closed. Since then till now. And even before that, because once WB decided to give us Batman vs. Superman, the theatrical cut, we already knew that that wasn't Zack Snyder's vision. We were like, hold on, something is up. And when you look at the ultimate cut, it's far superior to what WB put out. Zack Snyder and David Ayer have never been the problem. They've always been doing what they had to do with what they have at their reach. The problem has always been the executives inside of Warner Brothers. Those scumbags that think they know what they're doing, when in reality, they're just bringing the company down, and it's finally caught up. Now you have these studios that are interested and they want to buy out Warner Brothers. Good. It's time, baby. It's time. It's time for somebody that actually cares. Somebody that actually is interested in what the customer, the consumer, the fan all over the world wants. It's time for new leadership. It's time for new ownership at WB. It's time for great quality to come back. It's time. We deserve it. We're the audience. We're the consumer. But most of all, we're the fan. If you don't give us that to be entertained with, then you're not going to get money. And they're learning and they're seeing the hard way. Financially, with James Gunn, it's not, and it'll never work, period. I congratulate, and I have to say that Disney did the right thing by letting James Gunn go when they fired him. After that he did his Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and even that didn't perform so well at the box office. I'm glad that Disney got rid of him and said, you know what? We don't want to work with you, especially for the nasty things that he said in the past. I don't care how much you say, the past still came and it's still haunting James Gunn because you don't joke about those things. You just don't. But putting that to the side, James Gunn has never been a leader. He's always been a follower. He's always been generic. He's always been basic. As a filmmaker, I don't even know how he works in this industry, honestly. I really don't. When he wrote, some of you might be like, oh, but he wrote with Zack Snyder, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, but guess what? That script got rewritten by someone else. So they had to proofread and rewrite what James Gunn wrote. Who knows how stupid that script must have been for it to get rewritten? See what I'm saying? That's what happens. Who knows? And then the same thing with Superman. Remember, we heard multiple times, and I know I wasn't the only one talking about this. I know there was other channels talking about it. They were filming Superman. They were doing test screenings, and the reviews on the first one were horrible. The second one were bad. The third one was like, oh, what the hell? You even have that interview with that one guy. I don't remember his name. And they even said it. Oh, we effed up. We made a Superman Guardians of the Galaxy. That's exactly what you got. And even like that, after going through 4 different takes, you imagine what WB had to see before they actually put out the final version. And even the final version still sucks. I'm like, what the hell? You have people coming out in the industry and talking and saying, hey, this movie is not it. This movie is not it, honestly. You know? It's wild. It's wild, but this is what's happening. This is what's been going on. This is why in the end, we have to fight. We have to stay together. In the end, this is our final chance, my friends. You want that Snyderverse? You crave that Snyderverse as bad as I do? Then we need to fight together. We need to stick to one hashtag, restore the Snyderverse, period. That's it. We need to send the message loud and clear everywhere. Everywhere. Whether they're seeing us in the air with planes and ads, you're on the highway, you see the billboards, you see a truck in front of you with it. Hell, even if you open a comic book, you go on social media, everywhere, it needs to be there. We need to start making noise again with it, and it's ramping up. People are starting to wake up, and I'm happy every time I see that. There's more people finally starting to use Restore the Snyderverse because that's the message. I get it. We all want this and that. I want a Ben Affleck Batman movie. I want Man of Steel 2. I want this, I want that, just like you do. But you know what that all falls under? We don't need 1,000 hashtags because that's just going to confuse everybody. Damn, this is messy, it's unorganized. You know what that all falls under? Once we do get it, the Snyderverse is restored. You want Man of Steel 2? Restore the Snyderverse. You want this? Restore the Snyderverse. You want that? Restore the Snyderverse. You want the Suicide Squad with David Ayer and this and that, restore Snyderverse. It's all in there. We don't need 1,000 hashtags to prove our point. They're aware of us, the studio and all these companies. We have to show them, hey, look, this is trending again. Every year that we use the trending event, we need to stick to that one hashtag. We don't need to use like 20 or 30 because if you have, think about it. If you're using 5 hashtags, right? People are going to be confused. They're going to misspell it. They're going to be like, which one do I use? Which is the point? Like, what are we trying to send across? We use that one hashtag. Imagine, multiply all of those people times that one hashtag. And that's what we did when we were fighting for the Snyder Cut. When we were all using release the Snyder Cut, that's all we were using. Everybody, even celebrities were using that. It was everywhere. It was everywhere. Everybody was using it. And what do we have now? The Snyder Cut released. See what I'm saying? That's the goal. And in due time, we're going to get what we've been fighting for. I think low key, Zack Snyder just confirmed. And he's telling us, hey, we're going to be back. Why put the 3 sheeps? Why put it on a farm? Symbolically, right? Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Or Zack Snyder, David Ayer, Christopher Nolan. Who knows? I'm just speculating. Who knows? And in the farm, you grow crops. That means you're growing. Things are going to grow again. The same thing with the Snyderverse once it gets restored. That whole movement of the cell and this and that literally symbolically is falling into play as we speak. That's all fulfilling right before us because the buyout is happening. It's going to happen. There's nothing that no one can do to prevent this buyout. The only way that this buyout cannot happen, it would be like I've said it and I'll repeat it again. Unless David Zaslav himself turns it down. If David Zaslav turns down the bid that any of these companies are willing to pay, that's going to affect the industry in everything. Not just the movie side, in everything. Because think about it, like I've told y'all, I'm coming to y'all as a business point of view. All right? WB does distribution, not just with movies. They do so much with this entertainment business. They've been around for 100 years. And to see them where they are right now, that's kind of bad. It's kind of bad. So you need new leadership. And that's what the problem is with this studio. David Zaslav, unfortunately, is not the person to be running Warner Brothers. He's just not. He's the wrong person. James Gunn should not be the leader of DC Studios. He's not a leader. When he got appointed and he got brought in, I remember there was rumors floating around, and I even put a post about it and stuff. Like, you could go back, like, I don't know, it was like probably like 3 years ago or something. Look through my feed and you'll see it. I've even made videos about it. That you had people on James Gunn's team already doubting him and saying he's not the one. When you have your own team doubting you and saying, nah, I don't believe in you, you have a problem. Because if your own team doesn't believe you, guess what? Nobody else will. And this is where we are right now. The Suicide Squad from James Gunn was and forever will be a financial flop in all of DC cinematic history. And don't come at me with the pandemic excuse. Because if Spider-Man No Way Home was able to make $1 billion while everybody was wearing their mask during COVID, during the pandemic, guess what? There should be no excuse for James Gunn's movie to have performed so bad. And we saw that. Remember, I told you, I was like, that's the preview of what's to come under his leadership. If you've been following me for a while, when I used to have under like 100 subscribers, that's what I used to talk about. Go and watch my videos, you'll see. And look at what's happening. I foretold all this that was going to happen. I foretold and I told y'all, watch, they're going to try to normalize and justify a flop. Because that's how this industry is. And then you have people believe in the lies. Rotten Tomatoes could tell you right now one thing. But then when you look at the statistics and you really go, do a deep dive, look into it. And you'll see that they're lying to you. You'll be like, oh, wow, they really did make that up. Exactly, that's how it works. But in the end, the whole point is that the Snyderverse is going to get restored. They know it. And when I say they, I'm talking about these studios all these people that are against us, they know that it's coming, and there's nothing that they could do to prevent it. They can come out with their little memes, they could do this, they could do that, because they're nervous. And just like Ben Affleck's Batman when he was fighting Superman, when he shot him with the little gas thing, kryptonite, whatever that thing was, and he was like, "Breathe." That's fear. That's exactly what's going on right now. That's fear. They know, they know that the DCU under James Gunn's leadership won't be around long. They know it. Nobody's watching Peacemaker right now, and the few people that are watching it, what are they promoting? Come on, come on. That's what they want. That doesn't work, and especially in the time and age that we're living in today. I won't talk about politics, but do I have to really talk about it to see? Look around in the surroundings in the real world. Do you want the real world to be also in your entertainment? Not me. I know I don't. I want to watch a movie. I want to play a video game. I want to read a comic book. I want to play, with these toys, but I don't want them to represent what's going on in the real world. I want it to give me peace and joy and be like, damn, you know what? Damn, this is a badass Batmobile. This is a badass Batman. This is a badass Wonder Woman. I don't want it to be like, oh, this Wonder Woman represents this and she stands for that. But I remember she said, this. Yo, I don't care about that. I care about the character, who the actor and the actress plays in that world. I don't need to be reminded when I'm watching a show, hey, you know what's going out there in the real world? We're throwing it in your face also here in this show that you're watching. And let's just add some stupid comedy, some raunchiness, and everything that's completely generic. That's what James Gunn is giving everybody. And a lot of people are turning away from it. This is why DC is where it's at right now. And not only that, because here's something fun and interesting. Also with Superman. Guess what? Now we have Demon Slayer, the movie that's in the theaters, and it's surpassing Superman. What does that tell you? An anime movie has completely surpassed Superman at the box office in less time. Superman has been out for like past 90 days, 3 months, and they're struggling to where they're at. Yeah, here comes a anime movie, a freaking cartoon movie, and it's surpassing Superman. That should make everybody concerned. I love anime. I love manga. I love it. But they're outperforming the comic industry, unfortunately. But you know why? It's because they deliver quality. They know how to write good stories. They know how to put stories together. You can't say the same thing with our superheroes right now. You just can't. Is Marvel putting out good work? No. They're putting out content with a whole bunch of agendas. That's why they're ruining and damaging their brand. And not only that, they're ruining everything in the industry. Because now it affects everything. It's a domino effect. Movies are going down, games are going down, comics are going down, merchandise is not even selling. Hell, it's so bad that look at how long Eternals came out. And that merchandise is literally rotting at Ollie's. Ollie's is worse. Ollie's is worse than Ross. That's where literally like whatever didn't sell anywhere, not even the dollar store, that's where it ends up at. Because nobody wants it. Overstocked with all these movies that Marvel has been putting out lately. The Eternals is there, overstocked. Star Wars is overstocked. Black Panther is overstocked. Yo, what is that telling you? They're not putting out quality. Meanwhile, you have an anime show, Demon Slayer, from another country, from another genre, and it's dominating the charts. It's crushing the box office. You have a dinosaur movie of Jurassic Park. It completely stomped all over Superman. But yet, you have the fake show media telling you, oh, guess what? Superman is performing great. Really? Superman's so good that less than a week you put it on VOD, video on demand, at $29.99 and now it's on $9.99? Come on. You're not fooling me. Come on. Let's be real. They don't tell you that. And all that merchandise is still overstocked at Walmart, still overstocked at Target, still overstocked everywhere, and nobody's buying it. Meanwhile, McFarlane Toys, other lines announce something with Zack Snyder, and they sell out. They sell out because people want it. People love it because they know that that's quality. You can't tell me Peacemaker is quality. It's not. You just can't. That's James Gunn. And guess what? If we even get to see his Batman, guess what you're going to expect? That plus worse. All of that's coming. I'm telling you. If you thought Superman was bad and you think Peacemaker is bad, if we make it to James Gunn's Brave and the Bold, is going to be 5 times even worse. And in that interview that I just told you about, he also mentions Batmite again. He's obsessed with that character. As a fan, not of his work, but just a fan of Batman, I want to see what James Gunn can deliver with Batmite. I want James Gunn to show me, as a fan, the customer and consumer, show me what you can do with that character because you keep talking about him. I want to know what you can do with that character. Bring him to life. James Gunn is known for all these odd characters. He's known for all these weird characters. Show me and show us what you can do with Batmite because you're so obsessed with them. But we already know that it's not going to make it that far. The moment that one of these studios do acquire Warner Brothers and is the new parent company, I'm telling you right now, they're going to start cleaning house. They're going to start cleaning house left and right. And I think things are already being fixed behind the closed doors. We just can't know about it yet until, negotiations and everything that has to do with prices and contracts and who knows what they're working on, all of that's going to get fixed. And I get it. Some of y'all also have said the same thing. I read a few people told me the following. They're like, oh, but do you think the actors and the actresses will come back? It feels like they've moved on, or because, they've gone through like personal things and we've seen it in the news and stuff like that. Look, put all that to the side. Put all that to the side. Don't pay attention to none of that. In the end, it's all about money. Actors and actresses, directors, producers, makeup artists, everybody just wants money. These studios want to put out content. They're not going to be like, hey, you know what? You said this the other day. You came out and I saw the news and, we kind of heard about that. They don't care about that. It's showbiz. In showbiz, you have to have thick skin. You just have to. These actors and actresses are ready to come back. We saw when Gal Gadot was at some award event and she saw Zach, they hugged because it's been a while that they saw each other. And then when Henry Cavill just got hurt recently, he posted the picture. We had Gal saying feel better, and you even had Zachary Levi. He was like, yo, get better and this and that. Let's not forget, Henry Cavill was supposed to be in the first Shazam. But what happened? WB did what they did, and that's why at the end of the movie he came out like that. What is this showing you? That, besides showbiz, they talk like normal. They talk like friends. And it's all thanks to Zach, because he brought them all on board. Remember, when all the actors, including Margot Robbie, they all got tattoos, squad on themselves, showing the loyalty that they had to 1, WB, 2, DC, 3, David Ayer, and 4, for their team, their staff, whatever you want to call it. That right there is loyalty. That right there is right there what I see as, what? If I was to get the company, I'll be like, I want them all back. I need them all back. This is what the fans want. This is what we need to give them. And that's what they need to be looking at. That's how they need to go about on this professional-wise, and being able to say, you know what? This is how you win your customers, your consumers, your fans back. That's what you want. You want your audience back. WB doesn't have an audience anymore. This is why you see that everything that they're putting out with James Gunn, everything is confusing. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. Since day one, James Gunn is like, oh, we're going to do a whole full reboot. All right, cool. Show us what you can do. Show us what you can do. Oh, no, it's a semi-reboot. We're going to retcon, but we're going to do this. Show us what you can do. We're going to backtrack. We're going to go 5 steps backwards. We're going to move 1 forward, but we're going to move 10 more backwards and probably 3 to the side. Maybe we're going to go in a diagonal. We might end up doing this. What? Make it sense. I'm already confused. No, but this character is going to jump to this universe. This one's going to be the one in this new universe. But then this actor, this actress, guess what? This one appears, but that one, she appears over here. But she's different in this point of view. But from the other one, that one is somewhat retcon. You see how confusing that sounds? That's how James Gunn sounds. Because he's not a leader. He doesn't have an idea. He doesn't know which way he's going in his own universe. And then you have, unfortunately, his small fan base that think that he knows what he's doing, when in reality, he's not. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just unfortunately doesn't know. And it's showing. It's showing you that, hey, people are not interested. And when you don't have people interested, that's what happens. You start losing all these, sales and everything that comes from it. And we've seen it, you know. In due time, it's going to happen, my friends. Don't give up on faith. Don't give up on hope. And you have to have lots of endurance. We didn't get the Snyder cut overnight. It took us about 5 years. Remember, we haven't gotten the air cut yet because James Gunn is there. The moment James Gunn is gone, and this is why he's trying to retcon things, erase things, because he's just trying to leave a string that's tangled up behind him. And he doesn't even know it. He probably does. He's just doing it because of his ego, but it's all going to catch up. And you're going to see. Watch. Wait until we start hearing these bids with all these companies going at it. When we start hearing these bids, watch. You're going to see WB stock is going to start going up. All of these things will start going to go up because everybody's talking about it. It's trending. It's moving. It's getting attention. That's normal. It's just called supply and demand. In business, that's what it is. Supply and demand. Whenever a storm comes, notice wherever you live, what do they do to the gas? They raise up the price. Whenever there's something that's low in stock, what do they do? Raise the price. That's called supply and demand. And the same thing with this. The supply is WB. The demand is that they want to buy it. And that's what's happening. The supply is everything that WB has. Where's the demand? The fans want this, the fans want that, the customer wants this, they want that. They know that it's a supply and demand company. It just takes the right team and the right leadership to be able to accomplish and get everything back on track. That's all it is. As easy as that. It's not complicated. It's just having common sense and having a sense of guidance of where and what you want to do. That's crazy, huh? That's amazing, though. It's amazing. Seeing how all these things are going, how things are turning out, I'm telling y'all, things are going to shift, and they're starting to shift. We're seeing it. We're starting to hear it. When you hear all these people talking, and we're just talking, we're not talking about just among ourselves. We're talking about people on Wall Street. When these headlines start coming out on Yahoo News, on Google News, on Microsoft, and all this stuff, this is big. This is not like, oh, you can't keep this covered anymore. It's already out there. And you have people talking about this now on YouTube everywhere because now people want to know. And they're even starting to say, hey, what's the future of DC? Oh, I know the future of DC. Whoever buys them out, there's no and, ifs, or buts. They're going back to what was working. If Paramount Skydance are bringing back Michael Bay to do, even if it's a new, whatever it is with the Transformers, as long as Michael Bay's at the front directing it, guess what? The Bayverse is restored. That's it. That's it. Go back to what was working. That's what you need. You need what was working. With James Gunn, it's already proven by now. It's not working, period. And it'll never work. With Zack Snyder and David Ayer, let him cook, let him do his thing, and it's going to work. If it wasn't working, how come Netflix has Rebel Moon? How come Netflix put out Army of the Dead? And how come now with Paramount, Zach is doing that new movie, The Last Photograph? See what I'm saying? Why are you going to have people from Dubai with money that they're rich, they're wealthy? It's insane that they're straight up working with Zach to do a UFC movie. Think about that. Who's the UFC? They bought out the WWE. That's how much money they have. And you're going to tell me that those people wouldn't want to restore the Snyderverse? You're the one that's delusional. You're the one that's in denial because you can't accept the fact knowing that those people with money, right? All those rich folks are going to make the Snyderverse come back because they know that people want it and they want to see more of it. That's the difference. That's the beautiful part about it. It will happen and it's going to happen. We're already seeing that the wheels are in motion. People in these companies are preparing those bids. They're preparing those bids. And once these bids go live and we start hearing about it, oh, like I said, better buckle up. buckle up because this is going to be fun. This is going to be interesting. I can't wait. I really can't wait. And I will keep on talking about it, and I will be bringing y'all the updates and all that good stuff, honestly. This is why I tell y'all, share the videos, show the support, do whatever you can. It works. It works. You all know, and you see the comments that people sometimes be leaving, and they're disgusting. Sometimes I have to delete them because people are just like that. But it's showing you. They're doing the same thing like when we were fighting for the Snyder Cut. We were all being mocked at. We were all being memed. We were all being made fun of. And that's what they're doing again. But guess what happened? Once overnight things changed and Zack said, hey, we're going to get the Snyder Cut, everybody stayed quiet. Everybody was like, nah. They were in shock. And the same thing. Things are about to shift. Things are about to change. I'm telling y'all. Things are really about to change. It's crazy. It really is, honestly. You know? It really is, you know? And no matter what these James Gunn cultists try to say, try to meme, try to portray, it's not successful. It's not working. And they know it. They know it. You have all these online markets that are bringing you the statistics. You have the box office telling you the numbers of how things are at the box office or whatever it is on digital and stuff. And the reports are low. People are not watching like they were before. But then they want to come and claim, oh, it's the best thing, right? Yeah, let me guess, it's the best thing since The Dark Knight, right? Because it's always been the best thing since The Dark Knight. That's what they could do. That's all they know how to do. Use the same excuse. I'm telling y'all, it's going to change and it's going to get better. It won't happen overnight, but once these bids do start happening, I'm telling y'all, we will keep posted on that. It's crazy. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm really excited and stuff. So, you know, all of this is just a matter of time. And, you know, it's incredible. It's incredible. We live in a time that it's interesting. You know, it's like I've never been able to see another fan base as passionate as we are. Hell, I think we're more passionate than the Star Wars fans, honestly. Because look at where Star Wars is at right now. I'm not a Star Wars fan, but to them, it's like, wow, you know, like I remember they would always defend it and go after it and do everything. But look at where that brand is at right now. Unfortunately, because of why? Because of Disney. Because the way that they feel their motto is on whatever it is that they're trying to do. You know? And meanwhile, look at Netflix. Look at their stock. Over $1,000 a share. Who else has that? Nobody. That tells you they got money. They have money. Not even Comcast got that level of money in their stocks. That's wild. Not even Paramount with Skydance. That is insane. That tells you everything. That's what I'm saying. Numbers don't lie. It's a lot of things that are going to change. Things are going to get better. It won't happen overnight. We just have to stay patient. You know, we just got to endure all this that we're going through and stuff like that. It is what it is. But in the end, I'm telling you, soon we'll be able to all talk and be able to be like, you know what? Damn, we finally got the Snyderverse restored. That's it. That's it. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. These studios know it. They know what's up. They know that it's coming. They know it's gonna happen. And I'm ready. I can't wait. I can't wait for that announcement one day for us to finally say, hey, look, it finally happened. And you know why? Because we didn't give up to faith, hope, and we had lots of endurance. Real talk. I'm telling y'all. That's how it is and stuff like that. But yeah, my friends, with that, I appreciate y'all for watching. I'm about to get going. I hope y'all have a good day, morning, evening, wherever you are around the world. And I'm going to catch you on the next one. Make sure to show the support, share the videos, all that good stuff. And I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.